requires you to have a legal protection or a legal right exclusive to other people. You have the right. If they want to use the invention, they will seek your permission.
Okay.
They will seek your consent.
Okay.
Same thing with the copywriting. Once you have the copyright with you, it gives you the right of exclusive ownership of that work, either a literal work or a cinematographic work or even a written work, artistic work. These are works that falls within the act of, basically, when you do a write-up, when you do a write-up, either a book, publish a literal work, or in a film production, you require a copyright to protect that your work. What do we mean by that? Once somebody wants to either copy from it or even have to reproduce what you've done, you are entitled to get the consent. You, the original owner, has the right to say, I've given right to.
Okay, we're having the first caller. Let's get to take this call. Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for calling us. Please, what is your name and where are you calling from? Okay, we lost that. So sorry about that. So if you have any questions or any inquiry, kindly call us back. We're here to, answer your question. At least we have the father's son here who is really vested, is going to do justice to your question. So let's continue.
So trademark, like the copyright, you have an exclusive right over what you have produced, either in literal form or in artistic form, or even in publications, in film, acting, and all of that. That production you've made in film, in books, and all of that, you require a copyright to guarantee you exclusive ownership of that original work.
Okay.
Same thing happens to trademark. Once you have a logo, a write-up, words, description, titles, exclusive for you, you can obtain a trademark. Then you have the right over that product.
Okay.
Now when you have all this,
just like we have the Starcross logo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Starcross logo you can obtain the trademark for it. It gives you a legal protection to the exclusive use of that logo. Okay. Whoever wants to use it will obtain permission or consent from you. That is it. Now, the three put together, three rights: patent, copyright, and trademark. The difference is in when you talk about applying to obtain the patent right, it must fall within the act of an invention. You must have invented something. Okay. Like those that were the scientists that were involved in the discovery of the vaccine for coronavirus. Yeah. They have the patent right over that product. You cannot do it on your own except they give you the consent or the authorization to make use of their invention. That is on the scientific side of it. Okay. Then when you talk about copyright can come in the form of book publication, magazines, videos. When you act your films, you just see copyright, an inscription, a notification that all rights reserved. That means to the exclusion of anybody use. Yeah. If a broadcasting company wants to advertise or make use of any part of your film production, either in sound or in the actual acting, definitely that broadcasting firm must seek for your authorization and your consent. So that is it. For the trademark like the Coca-Cola kind of symbol, the Brotherhood of Cross and Star symbol, the logos and all of that falls within that other class of right of ownership of original work done.
Okay.
Yes, that is.
Okay, interesting. Could you explain the procedures, set out by law in applying for patents, copywriting, or trademark?
The procedure varies from countries to countries.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, within the Nigerian context,
Okay.
you have different stages. There are about 3 basic stages for one to go through that process. If you are applying, if it's for the patent, you have to fill a prescribed form.
Okay.
That form will give you details, what you want to patent, the work you are doing, your name, your address, and all of that. And the statutory fee, a prescribed fee, is required for you to pay for that form, that particular stage.
Okay.
We call it the application stage. Once you fill that form, you submit to the appropriate government quota.
Okay, this procedures you're talking about is only applicable in Nigeria.
And I'm sure maybe probably some other countries.
Okay.
Because it's a global practice. It's a global practice. The difference might just be the name of the agency or
Okay.
the commission that is in charge of obtaining patent works and granting it, then that of the payment, the mode of payment.
Okay.
So these are the difference. But if you talk about the procedure, definitely for you to even have the right of owning or being granted the patent right, you have to apply first to the government agency or
Okay.
commission or ministry that is in charge.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's a global practice. So that stage, once you exceed that stage for the application, now they will process, the government will now process, or the agency, the government agency that is saddled with that responsibility to issue the patent right, will now process your application. They will look at the work you are bringing, the invention, what you want the government to give you an exclusive right over,
Okay.
to own it and use it for yourself, to distribute and make money out of it. Now that process they will look through and equally go into search whether there is a similar product that has a resemblance or
Okay.
same product. If there is the same product, they will now put it into advertisement for the public notification. Once any other person is challenging that application or the work you have brought up to say, oh, I want to obtain a patent right, then that agency, that government agency, reserve that right to refuse the application at that stage.
Okay.
So once you scale through that stage, there is no protest, there is no response from the public, then you go to the next stage, whereby the government agency, I'm talking about Nigeria now, will issue an acceptance letter.
Okay.
That acceptance letter does not equally mean that you have gotten the certificate,
The certificate. Okay.
that patent right had been granted. So the last stage is when the patent rights certificate is issued to you.
Okay.
So you enjoy that exclusive right of ownership, to enjoy the branding, the distribution, the use of that your work
Okay.
will be exclusive for you.
Okay. Interesting. So how are these rights protected?
Well, the rights are protected once you go through that process. Immediately you go through that process. I've not even talked about the music side of it. Now, it is very common when you have a singer and someone who had composed a song and have it aired or release it in an album form. It takes that product and obtain the copyright over it. Then the man has that exclusive right and use of that place, that album, to the exclusion of others. If some other person now remix or do the same music, he can approach the Nigerian Copyright Commission for Nigeria now.
Okay.
That's the commission in charge to issue copyright
Okay.
to artists, to those originators of great works. Now, once that later that protest, that complaint is lodged, that Mr. A or Mr. B had copyrighted my work. He has copied what I have done, my music, art, and my artistic work. This is the proof. Then the NCC, that is the Nigerian Copyright Commission, will come after you. It is the sole responsibility of the Nigerian Copyright Commission to regulate and protect copyright works.
Okay. So let's get to hear the benefits, derived, so that people would know that it is pertinent, it is important for one to, actually go about, having a sole, right to his or her inventions, his or her, things that his or her, they have originated. Let's get to hear.
The benefits are enormous.
Yeah.
The benefits are enormous, and I'll start with the pecuniary benefits.
Okay.
When you own a product exclusive, and you have control over it by way of usage and distribution, it attracts financial income, huge financial income. Now, once you have that copyright or patent right or trademark granted you as the originator of an art, of a work or an invention, you now have the exclusive enjoyment of the brand.
Okay.
Then your product is guaranteed protection. That is the third aspect of it. Then beyond that, you have control. You have control over the usage. They will identify you with your brand. They will identify you with your product. You cannot see Coca-Cola and you buy that product. When you go for probably a pure water business company that has that brand, that logo, Coca-Cola, then that bottling company is in trouble. That water company is in trouble because Coca-Cola has a trademark. The logo has its trademark globally. You cannot challenge it. So that is the position.
Okay, we have another caller. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for calling us. Please, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening.
Good evening, I can hear you very clearly. What is your name, please?
Sister Gladys.
Oh, Mama Gladys, good evening.
Evening, beautiful one.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying the topic of today.
Okay.
I wanted to ask our guest speaker, Young Royal Christ Ambassador, just as I know, to explain to us what happens to those who go on to plagiarize those books, even people's products, who bring in a lot of fake products, have the same name of the same company, such products, and then they go on to sell them when the real products are left unsold. So what are the ways for one to go on to minimize of this kind of thing? On the other way in Africa, the entire world.
Okay, ma.
There's a lot of fake products that they brought in, deceive people. And people write their books before you know, people say their songs or their music, they want to break up. And then the evil ones are the ones that will go on to sell more than those who have the right to such record.
Yeah, that's true.
What are the ways now? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mommy Gladys.
God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much for calling. All right. Thank you. Okay, that was Sister Gladys Oyebo, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. You as well that you're watching. If you have any question, you have our number there, just there on the screen. You can call us in and ask any question pertaining to this topic. Let's have you answer Sister Gladys' question.
It's a very important question.
Yeah.
Because the essence of obtaining such rights, like the patent rights, the copyright, and the trademark, is essentially to give you protection.
Yeah.
Now, once there is any form of plagiarism in terms of publication of books or faking products, distributing and selling, it amounts to a criminal offense. There are regulatory bodies that will come after you. Like in Nigeria, we have NAFDAC. Once you have fake products in the market, they will identify them and they will charge you for criminal offenses. For the Nigerian Copyright Commission, they are also empowered by law to trace where these fake products are being manufactured, to arrest, seize and close down such business centers. Now, for you that is your original owner of these products, these book publications, you can equally initiate civil actions in court whereby you claim for due compensation over your intellectual property that had been stolen and faked to make money. So that is basically the position of the law. There is nowhere in the world whereby somebody is faking another's product and he will be let free. The government, of course, will come after you and they will initiate criminal proceedings against those that are into such practice. So that is very clear. There is punitive measures, and you that has that exclusive right of authorship, of originality, of you know, the expression, originality and expression of a product, you are entitled to being compensated for faking your product, for plagiarizing your product. Okay. Your publications.
Okay, so in a situation whereby I have an idea, I put the idea down, I try to make it come out, work on it, and then I'm not yet made it come out really for people to see, and then maybe someone that I was working with takes my idea, my intellectual idea, and then goes out there to do the same thing, and then goes before me to copyright it and have a trademark. What will I do in such a situation?
That is the more reason why this topic is very important. You protect your idea, you protect your invention, you protect your concepts, even at the stage of producing. You have to approach the government commission or agency to first and foremost obtain either the copyright or trademark, or else you are robbed of your legal right. There is no way, if you compose a song and you've not released that song to the public hearing, and in course of releasing your album you don't have any form of copyright, you're not granted that copyright, or you don't have a trademark attached to your logo, your symbol of that album, and some other person steals it from you, you cannot lay claim to that product, because the person that approaches and obtains the copyright, at the stage of applying, as I've earlier said, the public is put on notice. Look, we have this product for copywriting, we have this logo or symbol for trademark, and you did not protest, you did not raise an objection that what this applicant is applying for should not be granted him. That is the right you have at that stage. Once there is a protest that some other person owns such product, such invention, then you have prevented that person from being granted any of these rights.
So what if that anyone comes out to protest but does not have evidence?
Well, it depends. it depends. There is a way the agency will go about it, or the commission, the copyright and the Nigerian Copyright Commission. They have their own modus operandi, which they adopt at investigating and finding out who is truly the original owner of such a work, such a product, such an invention. They have modalities at which they will adopt. I'm not an expert in that area, but I know too well that once there is an objection to an application, the commission will go the extra mile to ensure that they get to the root of the matter. They will not just leave it there. They are trained to unearth, to get to the truth of who is the rightful owner. If I applied, I also have the right to defend what I have presented before the commission against whoever is also laying claim of the product. So that is the true picture of the whole thing.
Okay, let's move on. So how best can the rights conferred by laws of a country be enforced in another country?
It's a little bit a difficult situation, because the jurisprudence of the different countries varies. What is legal in one country might not be also legal in another country. For the Commonwealth countries, where we share the same, almost the same similar laws originating from the British government, from UK, we can interface. There are certain laws that still bind some countries in the western part of Africa. But outside, if the laws of Nigeria had given you the right to own, to trademark you of your product, your logo, or and you want to use that same logo in another country, or symbol for trademark, you are required by the law of the land to also go through that process of registry. Like the Coca-Cola, yes.
Okay, you have to register.
You have to
register. Want your product or your company, your logo to be, accepted in other countries. You have to follow.
You have to go through the procedures. Exactly, that's the position. For Coca-Cola, of course, they wouldn't have had that exclusive right of their logo if they had not registered with the Nigerian Copyright Commission, or the trademark, the Ministry of Interior, that is in charge of patent, trademark, and copyright. That is the position. So for you to enjoy that exclusive right, you must, as a matter of legality, required to go and register your product, your invention, your logo, your symbol, to get either a patent right, or a copyright, or a trademark. That is the position of the law internationally. So you must move with your product to allow the laws of that land to recognize what you have invented, your product. But for books, of course, if you have that copyright seal on your book, and you do it internationally, the World Trade Organization also had helped us a great deal. Because if you have your products, if you have your inventions, and you register it with the World Trade Organization, you are protected at that level. The World Trade Organization will also give you that right of the patent rights, the copyright, or even the trademark as such. The World Trade Organization also has that regulatory framework guiding the use of the guaranteeing one's right over products and inventions or works.
So I want to understand something. For instance, let's take for instance Coca-Cola, that is everywhere around the world, I guess. Is there no an international forum where you can just go register there and not go from one country to the other because you want your product to be international? Is there no a forum like a platform where you just register internationally and it covers you all around the world?
No,
you have to go the country by country.
I've just mentioned the World Trade Organization.
Yeah.
Now, if a country had entered treaties, or they are member countries of this World Trade Organization, they do business commonly, they can interface, they have treaties of trading and all of that, and your product is registered there. They have over 100 countries that makes up that World Trade Organization. Your product can be guaranteed of this rights of having patents or copyright or the trademark as such. So wherever your product goes into, in any of the countries, we have over about 160 countries or more that makes up that World Trade Organization. So at that level, at that global level, one's product is protected. One's product is protected. So that is the extent you can go, and you're sure. Or else, if for any reason Nigeria is not part of the World Trade Organization, which of course Nigeria is, now your product coming into Nigeria, you must go through that legal process required of you to either have the patent right or the copyright or the trademark.
Okay, interesting. So let us move on. Let's come back home in BCS. Since in BCS we know that really in BCS people, we don't really lay claims to any of our inventions, any of our ideas. We say the father is the one that owns everything. So would you say that it's appropriate for a BCS member, maybe a musician, an artist, maybe a screenwriter or a scriptwriter, or authors, people that write literatures, to own ownership, to go out there to get the patent, copyright, and the trademarks for what they have done, saying they're doing for the father, and bringing it, like the music they sing for the father, they go out there to lay copyright of, lay claims of it. Is it appropriate? What would you say?
Let me start by asking a rhetoric question.
Okay.
You work for Starcross Television. You are into movie production. If you are employed to do such work, you cannot lay claim of the products, the movie that you've produced. The copyright, the trademark, or the patent rights goes to Starcross Television as a legal entity. Same thing is applicable to Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. An individual artist cannot lay claim to the originality of his music. There is no artist in Brotherhood of the Cross and Star that is not inspired by the Holy Father to either compose songs, sing them, and equally produce them. So for obvious reasons, no artist, no inventor, or not even a logo designer or a symbol designer who comes under Brotherhood of the Cross and Star can lay claim to exclusive ownership of such products. I stand to say it clearly that none, not even an individual, there is the need for Brotherhood of the Cross and Star to have their products registered, either the inventions for patent rights, copyrights for Starcross Television, all their products, all their films, all their programs must have copyright, so that whoever is borrowing from it or wants to make use of that product must have an agreement with Starcross Television, must have an agreement with Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. It also is a form or a medium of generating resources.
Okay.
For Brotherhood of the Cross Star, for Star Cross, or any other establishment that Brotherhood of the Cross Star owns. So whoever is a member, a legitimate member, cannot and does not have that right to own a copyright for his work.
I have another question. So, if, for instance, Fidelis, the singer, Ado, or Okoy, or God's Will, or any of them, brings out a song, and then another person listens to the song, and gets the same song, changes the lyrics, but the same rhythm, the same harmony, but the lyrics is different, and then sings. What would that be a clash of, so you going to take another person's gift, like inspiration, because we know that it's inspired from the Holy Spirit? What would be done?
We just have to, on a daily basis, thank the Holy Father for the divine structure of Brotherhood of the Cross Star. To allay the fears of their artists, having their songs being reproduced for depriving them of originality and expression. You have where to lay your complaints to. As music artists or gospel artists, your songs is tailored towards exaltation, glorification, singing praises and adoration. You do it just to the Holy Father and no one else. If for any reason, as an artist and an individual in Brotherhood of the Cross Star, you, as I've earlier said, you don't have the authorization, you don't have the right to even apply to own an exclusive. Yes. Now, the Brotherhood of the Cross Star is so structured and perfectly so, in such a way that there are offices you can lay your complaints to, and by way of arbitration or by way of adopting the best alternative dispute resolution, these artists or brethren can be invited for amicable settlement. Who owns this, who owns that? I have done it before. A brother came from the suburb laying claim to a big artist song that he was at the verge of producing it into an album. Okay. The complaint came to my office, the legal department, and it was highly contentious. When we invited the two artists, the other one is a choir master in the rural area, the one is in the urban area and is a popular artist, and we had to interface, we had to ask them questions, and in the long run, we placed the caveat that if for obvious reason this is the author, the one that composed the song you are laying claims to, tell us where you originated or where you got your inspiration from. He said he had the song on the radio. It sounds funny that he had to modify it to suit the Brotherhood, and I was not convinced. So we placed a caveat. Okay. We met the production firm that was at the verge of getting his audio tape out, and we said this is our constraint. Good enough, the management of that music firm for producing songs for the artists had an understanding with us. So at that point, the one that is the urban guy and very popular had to accept our condition. Is either you acknowledge him in your album as the one that composed this particular song, or you allow him to do a voiceover.
Also voice, sing.
Exactly, sing and let his voice be heard. because we are convinced and you cannot contradict our position. So we had that consensus. The artists accepted, and that was how that issue was resolved. So we are saying that GABA should also
we'll
have.
Come to GABA.
Okay,
we'll
all right. Let me not jump the gun.
So still in the BCS music, a lot of us, the musicians, a lot of the artists, you know, it is. There's an adage that it says when you walk in the temple, you earn or eat from there. So a lot of them, they use their personal money, you know, from their pockets to make sure that some of they produce their musics. They go out there and do the mass production, buy the CDs, print on them and sell them to at least get some funds back and earn a living. So what happens? Other people there who buys the CD and go mass produce it to sell and make money.
You see, when I mention GABA, there is need for us to,
because it is happening. It is happening.
Yes.
You know, a young talented person would produce his movie, his music, and then someone from there, from nowhere, would just come, get the music, go ahead and mass produce it and go sell it and, you know, make money, while the person that owns the music originally is not even earning.
It's quite mind-blowing, because as gospel artists, you will not be able enough, you will not have that so much of restrictions. Even where we don't want to sound encouraging for this kind of mass production and plagiarism, duplicating without
the honor.
We're saying that there is need for such programs, enlightenment programs, to be carried out from Bethels to Bethels, from states to states, from countries to countries, so that we can better educate members of Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. Because some of them do these things out of ignorance. Even when you are not at the point of mass producing, you are not part of it, you can just get the music downloaded from the internet. So we want to get a good framework whereby things are done to help our artists. If you are the originator of a song by inspiration, Father don't need your money as such. He doesn't need it. It's to help you grow in the entertainment industry in Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. If you are able to get your work done, and there is this protection from within, and having the secular law to educate us on how to go about it, it will minimize this practice of mass producing. It amounts to stealing. It does amount to stealing. Somebody, yes, when somebody had put in so much of industry, time to get his intellectual property refined for people to admire, for people to appreciate. There's somebody, one lazy person is somewhere in his comfort room or comfort zone, mass producing to make money out of it. We are saying that because the framework is not set out. And moreover, the Brotherhood artist who is laying claim of originality does not have the copyright. Brotherhood is here to get that copyright. Once you do it, then we can now begin to regulate our internal operations. We can get people to tell them, look, this product belongs to the Father, Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. This artist had come up with this under this copyright umbrella. So if you want to even mass produce his work, you must come to terms with him. How much is he going to get from that mass production? What percentage? So these are clear contractual terms and procedures and conditions that can be set out, so that nobody is shortchanged and nobody will go home feel cheated. That is the position.
All right, let's go to the General Assembly of Brotherhood Artists, GABA, an umbrella that houses all entertainers in all ramification. So what would be your advice to GABA, housing this, an umbrella for these artists who have, been producing? What is your advice to them? Should, in case, in the future, for posterity, an artist brings out a song, and then another artist from another denomination, maybe from all these Pentecostal churches, hears the music and go produce the same thing and makes a copyright of it? What will be the solution to this? What would be your advice to them?
First and foremost, I must appreciate the Holy Father. This is a very rare opportunity to tap from that talent that God has created for us. The music industry is a very broad industry that has so much to go with it. Now, within the confines or within the scope of GABA operation, I have noticed over the years that they are more into increasing their performances, their songs, and for the listening pleasure of the Holy Father. They have not considered this other aspect of protecting their intellectual property. If for any reason they organize seminar, they organize symposium, they organize mini conferences and invite people, experts in the areas of law and marketing, they will get their things right. That is what is yet to be added in the operations of GABA. Once GABA begin to think outside the box, during their events, they have a section for talk show. They have people coming to educate them. There is so much to get from it. BCS music alone can attract billions of dollars into Brotherhood of the Cross and Star globally. We have even gone beyond technology and advanced the production of music beyond the CDs we play now. When I travel out, I hardly can see where they sell CDs.
Yeah, that's true.
There are other means in the internet where you can trade your products and people will buy. And once they begin to buy on the internet, they click and download your songs. You know how much you smile home to the bank with. So these are the things we are saying, that once they move out from that performance, showing, getting their songs being heard, yearly they get their albums released, to thinking of how to protect their intellectual property, they will begin to reap from it. After all, I'm a music lover. I've heard these secular songs and it's not appealing, it's not enticing. We should move beyond that, because the world we are today, the talent God has given you, you must use it maximally to enrich yourself, to prepare yourself, and for the benefits of the entire people. Let me also say this as a support to what the reference I should draw from. The pharmaceutical companies in United States of America, in the United Kingdom, and some parts of Europe, some countries in Europe, that had come up with the invention of producing vaccines for COVID-19 coronavirus. They have a patent right. Before that vaccine was sent out, the vaccines, because there are different companies that were involved, the biotech companies, before it was sent out for consumption, for people to be administered with, they have obtained their patent right for it. Currently, as we speak, as at yesterday, the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, is approaching the World Trade Organization by next week to waive that patent right. because the pandemic had caused a lot of damage, a lot of deaths. As we speak in India has surpassed the record of United States of America.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, the death rate in India, over 40 countries are supporting them. Now, if you don't take these vaccines from the countries to India, you cannot trade them, you cannot supply, because you cannot even produce the vaccines locally. You cannot. That is the American president's position. That is what he's canvassing.
Okay.
If you waive that patent right, other pharmaceutical companies in other countries, especially the developing countries or the less developing countries, will be opportune to locally refine, manufacture their own vaccines, so that it will mitigate, it will reduce to the barest minimum the impact the pandemic had created, the coronavirus pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. So that is the move they are making. By next week, when the World Trade Organization will be hosting a conference to mark the first annual, the first anniversary of the emergence of COVID-19, American government is approaching the World Trade Organization asking for a waiver of the patent right of this pharmaceuticals company. And you would not imagine the kind of response. Over 100 countries had also lent their voice in support of that American position. That is what we are saying. It's a big business.
Yeah.
Once you have that patent right, it's at the exclusion of other people. So you can imagine how much the pharmaceutical companies are breaking into their accounts for just creating an invention that is called vaccine for COVID-19 coronavirus. So if we can apply it within the Brotherhood of the Cross and Star music world, I'm very particular about the entertainment industry in Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. The music is just out of this world. It's spiritual, it's edifying, it comes with a lot of benefits. So why can't we use it? Why can't we use it? Why can't Star Cross start to champion the need for us to copyright such products? Okay. And to the exclusion of others, if you want to approach me to use my music, of course you have to pay for it. Once you have that copyright, you have to pay for it. So that's the position.
Okay, beloved viewer, let us take a short break. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we have some questions here for you from Sister Gladys. We'll take the question and we'll continue. Stay with us, beloved viewer. I'm Irene Olaita. We'll be right back.
The biggest gathering of real men of God across the world is here again, as Brotherhood of the Cross and Star Universal Men's Fellowship heartily invites all real men and the entire creation of God to our 62nd and 63rd anniversary celebration with the theme, The Real Men, Pillars of Olumba Supreme Temple, from Monday the 10th to Saturday the 15th of May 2021 at the BCS World Headquarters, 34 Amber Street, Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. Highlights of the event include daily morning prayers, flag off, hoisting of flag, unveiling of the UMF logo, paper presentation on the role of the BCS real men in the physical actualization of the Olumba Supreme Temple, media tour to Starcross Television, New Kingdom Trumpet and Sparkling FM, evangelical visits to government functionaries and traditional rulers, friendly football matches, humanitarian visits, UMF special lunch dates with our Holy Father for 100 real men in the Holy Father's vestry, all state and national men choral competition, procession by all real men, a 1-hour walk for liberation and prosperity for all real men, Mr. UMF International Context for all BCS brothers, and the grand finale will include formal presentation of lists of contributors on the One Man, One Bag of Cement project to our Holy Father and the Holy Father's advice and blessings. For more information, contact Divine Vanguard Edwin Oputa, Chairman Publicity, UMF International Week on 081-5845-1678, or Senior Christ and Precious F. Young, Chairman, UMF International Week Organizing Committee on 070-120-99999. Announcer, Christ Ambassador Sylvester Eboigbe, President, Universal Men's Fellowship International. Thank you, Father.
BBCS Music.
The living Christ is back on earth. He promised that where he would be, all his elects would be there too.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Out of Africa, come and the living Christ, the Redeemer of the human race. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Don't look up there in the firmament. He dwelleth here in brotherhood. Just call him up, he will answer you.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Go tell the world that the Holy Spirit has been personified in Olumbabu. He reigned here with the living Christ. His holiness, King Olumbabu.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Out of Africa cometh the living Christ, the Redeemer of the human race. His holiness, King Olumbaobu.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Let's go crazy with happiness and jubilation in brotherhood, 'cause the living Christ is back on earth.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
It doesn't matter where you call him from, King Olumbaobu is omnipresent. You don't need no candles for meditation. You don't need no incense to communicate. Don't need no beads, no charms or jams. When you call on him in spirit and truth, his holiness will answer you.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Don't look up there in the firmament. He dwelleth here in brotherhood. Just call him up, he will answer you.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
Go tell the world that the Holy Spirit has been personified in Olumbabu. He reigned here with the living Christ. His holiness, King Olumbaobu.
Call him up, he will answer you. His holiness, King Olimbaobu.
BBCS Music.
Our Lord Jesus Christ says, our Lord Jesus Christ says, it's expedient that I go away, to usher in the spirit of truth, usher in the spirit, the comforter who will teach you all things in remembrance of me. He will abide with you forever.
We are celebrating the centennial of the physical appearance of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Olympus 100 years is but a second on the throne.
The day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Lead Olumbaobu came in as a thief in the night. When no one was watching, no one expecting, he is now waging the final battle for the victory. Victory, 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 victory of righteousness.
We are celebrating the centennial
prophecy of John the Divine. The prophecy of John the Revelator has come to manifestation. That promised comforter that John saw in a vision has come to rule the world. The Lumba Obu, the quickening spirit, has come to reign forever.
We are celebrating the centennial of the physical appearance of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Olympus 100 years is but a second on the
1918, the greatest year in the history of mankind, greater than the creation of the heavens and the earth, for it is the year that the creator of the universe arrived here on earth to teach man, to lead man to the accurate knowledge of truth.
We are celebrating the centennial of the physical appearance of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Olympus 100 years is but a second on the clock.
2,000 years from now, Olumba will still reign. 4,000 years from now, Olumba will still reign. 10,000 years to come, Olumba will still reign. Olumba, Olumba Obu reigns for eternity.
We are celebrating the centennial of the physical appearance of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Olympus 100 years is but a second on the clock.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to the program Regnum Legal Viewpoint on the topic patent, copywriting and trademark. I believe you've heard a whole lot and you've learned a whole lot from Christ Ambassador Justice Ahiakwa. I almost called him Miss Grace, but maybe it's coming on the way. Okay, we have some comments on the YouTube platform, but before then, let's get to ask you one more question. So, if one gets a copyright law, backup in his or a product, how long is the copyright everlasting, or do you have to renew it from time to time, or so? Let's get to here.
Yes, the copyrights and patents or trademarks are renewable.
Okay.
It depends on the laws of the land in any country.
So let's talk about Nigeria.
Nigeria, within 6 months, 1 year. It all depends on the class of the copyrights or the patent right, because it also serves as a revenue generation for the federal government.
Oh, I see.
It's under the exclusive list of the federal government to have control over who is entitled to have an exclusive right over an invention, somebody who also should enjoy an exclusive right of his logo or symbol in form of trademark, or publications that are originally made by an individual or group of individuals or organizations to obtain copyright in publications, in materials, both in film production, cinematography, or literal works.
Okay. So if a company or if an individual had gotten a copyright backup and then did not renew over the years, what is there a penalty or?
Yes, there is a penalty for default.
Okay.
And you can also lose your right of ownership of that original, because your publication, your product, your work or your artistry work can be delisted from the register.
Interesting.
So it's a form of revenue generation for the federal government.
Okay, let's get to read some comments on the YouTube platform. We have here Gladys Oyebo saying, nice to be here, kudos to Starcross TV. Gladys Oyebo again says, happy weekend to you all, viewer all over the world. Special greetings to our beloved guest speaker, Christ Ambassador Barrister Justice Ahiapo, beautiful presenter Sister Irene Olaito. Thank you very much. From Susan George saying, interesting topic, very, very interesting. Gladys Oyebo says, please, Barrister Justice Ahiapo, explain to us what happens when some known books are published by unknown publishers and they disguise it as these are the current editions.
Yes, whoever is behind such publications will be unmasked. The person who is acting as the original author and having it as the current edition or the revised edition of it can be traced, because he cannot lay claim to being the original author of that publication. The essence of these laws, this intellectual property rights that one can hold on to, is to protect your work. If I have taken time and pains to come up with a publication and some other person is doing a review of that work, word for word, I have the right to complain to the Nigerian Copyright Commission, who is saddled with the responsibility of enforcing my right or protecting my right over that publication. So that person will be unmasked, because probably is not known, and will face the wrath of the law. Definitely is either going in jail times or be compensated. It depends on the action.
So one can actually be jailed? I thought it's monetary penalties.
No, it amounts to crime.
Wow.
It amounts to crime. Once you take up someone that is as good as stealing the person's intellectual property to make profits, to get financial benefit from it, which ordinarily is not yours, and depriving the original author of that work of the financial benefits that accrue from it. So one can even pursue the criminal aspect of it. And for the civil side, the originator, the owner of that right, that patent right, that copyright or that trademark, is empowered by law to even initiate a civil suit. The two cases can go hand in hand.
Okay. So from Susan Judge, she is saying, kudos to Regnum Legal Viewpoints. If you are not learned, you cannot be here. I'm learning so much already. Thank you so much. David Ayesang says, perfect peace and blessings, beloved children of God, and happy weekend to us all. Fully following and learning from your well-learned guest, Barrister Justice Ahiakwa. Keep it up. Well done, Sister Irene. Cheers too. Thank you. From Gladys Oyabo, she's saying, to our esteemed learned brother, please, when are you guys going to put up a seminar concerning the issues of today for BCS children to be aware of the dangers involved if one defaults?
I would answer the question with a yes and no approach. Yes, we are ready to do it, and no, we don't have that authority to organize. It's not within our purview to invite, except we approach the Holy Father, who can in his magnanimity give us the opportunity to organize such seminar. Okay. We are also calling on those that are the actors, for our job here is to educate and enlighten brethren or the general public of their rights, what the laws provide for. If you want us to get involved in your programs, fellowship anniversary, mega events, just name the major events in Brotherhood of the Cross and Star, and you have us on your program, we can come in and talk heart to heart to brethren and make them understand that certain things we do amounts to crime outside, but we take them for granted in Brotherhood of the Cross and Star.
Interesting. Okay, there's another comment here. Gladys Ogebo says, Unique Brothers, the Etuks, Christ Ambassador Silas Etuk and CEA Basi Etuk, aka Bako Bako, fabulous song. Call him up, he will answer you. BCS is indeed the home of great music. Kudos to Starcross TV. Estella Etuk is here saying, thank you, Heavenly Father, for the uplifting songs from Christ Ambassador Etuk and CA Bako Bako. Thank you, Starcross, for a job well done. And she also says, thank you, Father, for the topic of today. Peace and blessings to the presenter and your guest. Perfect peace, Mommy Estella. Thank you so much. So lastly, what is your final advice to or words to the originators of inventions, of products or artworks? What's your advice to them?
If you're within Brotherhood of the Cross and Star, as one who is talented and gifted to create inventions, come up with ideas that can put you as unique as your product will look like, Brotherhood of the Cross and Star has products that are trusted. Brotherhood of the Cross and Star gives out goodwill. Brotherhood of the Cross and Star is different from other products. Now, if you're coming on that Brotherhood of the Cross and Star, please have it in your back of your mind that you don't own, you are not the originator of anything. God Almighty owns everything. And in as much as He dwells with us in human form, we must give Him all the glory, all the due glory and reverence. Let Him also bless us in turn. For the artists in Brotherhood of the Cross and Star, outside, generally speaking, if you have that creative mind to come up with an invention that is not seen, is not heard anywhere in the world, please do good to obtain a patent right. If for any reason you have written a book, you have your music outside Brotherhood of the Cross and Star that is so unique and distinct, different, that brings your brand out, please go for a copyright. If you have a logo design, you have anything that has a symbol that is very unique and distinct, please obtain a trademark. Okay. That is my last word for today.
Okay.
And may the good Lord bless each and every one of us.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to talk to us. Thank you for the enlightenment. Thank you so much for the very interesting and very educative topic. I know you all there, our beloved viewer out there, I know you've learned a lot. Just like he said, if you know you have an intellectual product, you know, or ideas or whatever, go out there and get a copyright, go out there and get a trademark, go out there and get a patent for your invention. Do not just sit down and say okay and you know be procrastinating, for another person will go and take it up and will own your own work. I know how painful it is for another person to, you know, take up what belongs to you and own it, and then even go get a copyright of it. I know how painful it is. So do not just sit and fold your hands. The society today is very advanced. Everything is going, you know, very civilized. Go out there and get copyrights of your product. And if you are the other person that sits down to, you know, go take up people's products, people's sweats, people intellectual properties to you know make a living out of it, that is criminal. Am I right?
You're right.
That is criminal. You know, that is crime. You are taking someone's, you know, someone's sweat, someone's work to go earn a living. Why not go contact the person and then, you know, talk business with the person and then make it legal, instead of you trying to play smart on someone's intellectual property? That is a no, and you know it's punishable by law. You can even go to jail and also pay a huge amount of money. So let's live right, let's do things rightly and correctly. This program is a very unique one, a very educative one. Thank you so much for watching. Till we come your way, same time next week, same day, I remain your host, Irene Ulaito. Do have a blessed weekend. Bye.
Shishi Olumba, no,
The language of a new world is the language that brings edification unto one another, encourages the brotherhood of man, and glorifies God. It is the language of love and peace.